I don't know, but I don't think he belongs on this Cherokee land.
God above, the very God above, he holds you like a spider over the pit of hell. You need to repent, because according to the scriptures...
Excuse me!
The new Georgia law states that all white people on Cherokee lands must have a license to live on Cherokee land, and they must take an oath of allegiance to the state of Georgia. So where's your license?
What is this?
What about this?
Nope, can't.
What about this? What about
That's
this?
not it! Where's your license, huh? Coming with us, buddy.
You gonna arrest me? I'm postmaster at Colta. I'm not even from Georgia, I'm from Vermont, and yet these Georgian rats still want to do this to us? What is this?
Yeah, we were just spreading the word in the name of God.
The state of Georgia has crossed the line. We need to do something.
This is case number 1123 in the matter of Samuel Worcester. Present in the courtroom are the defendant and his attorney, the deputy prosecutor, and the probation officer. If there is a jury, the judge will give the jury directions on how they are to consider what they will hear in the trial. Does the defendant plead guilty?
My client pleads not guilty.
Defense, present your case.
March 1831, my client was arrested for living on Indian territory sans a license. However, he is a resident of the Cherokee Nation and has been living among the people for a while now. The so-called crimes he has committed in the town New Akota were out of the Cherokee Nation's court's jurisdiction. He is a citizen of Vermont and says that he came to the Cherokee Nation as a missionary of the American Board of Commissioners for Foreign Missions with President Jackson's consent. My client claims this act by the state of Georgia is unconstitutional because the state of Georgia does not have the right to pass laws dealing with Cherokee Nation.
The Cherokee Nation is within the boundaries of Georgia. Therefore, it is only reasonable for the state of Georgia to have jurisdiction over the Cherokee Nation.
However, the power of federal court as well as Indian law is greater than the authority of the state.
Nations are distinct political communities, having territorial boundaries within which their authority is exclusive, having a right to all the land within those boundaries, which is not only acknowledged but guaranteed by the United States of America. I understand. This is the first case regarding the Cherokees.
No, it wasn't. The case preceding this one was actually called Cherokee Nation versus Georgia. Chief Justice John Marshall ruled that because the Cherokees were not a truly independent and sovereign nation, the Supreme Court, under the Constitution, had no jurisdiction to make a decision regarding this matter.
Then what exactly happened in the case of Worcester versus Georgia?
John Marshall reversed what he previously ruled in the Cherokee Nation versus Georgia by recognizing the independence of the Cherokees and ruling that the state of Georgia had no constitutional right to pass a law requiring licenses to be present on the land. On March 3rd, 1832, John Marshall reversed the convictions of the missionaries 6 to 1.
So he just resided there without a license and preached to the Indians along with his fellow missionaries.
Yeah, and obviously when you break the law, you're bound to get caught, and that's what happened. Sam Worcester and his friends were convicted and sentenced to 4 years of hard labor.
And this is when they took the case to the Supreme Court.
Yes, and they won too.
However, what happened afterward?
Well, unfortunately, Andrew Jackson, who was president at the time, reacted to the ruling by saying, John Marshall has made this decision, now let him enforce it.
In other words, he just ignored the ruling.
And in 1838, under Martin Van Buren, the Cherokees were forced to leave and go to a designated Indian territory, which is now in present-day Oklahoma. This does now what's called the Trail of Tears, and in my opinion, it is one of the downspouts of American history.
How did this affect the government?
The judicial review was really powerful, and for a while, the judicial branch had the final say over foreign affairs. However, Jackson wasn't too thrilled with the outcome